everybody, Mr. Traveler here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Friends, if we can help you book a dream vacation, please give us a call at 877-697-4470, or you can book right online, www.mr-traveler.com. And if you would be so kind, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know when we upload videos or go live. So, in the spirit of heading on to the newest cruise ship in the world, we're getting ready to head on to the Star of the Seas. We wanted to make a video. We were talking about this on our last cruise and just kind of joking around about things. But we've come up with a list of 10 things that we wish were on cruise ships. Now, some of these are very doable, could be done. Some of them are kind of far-fetched, but I think that they would be really cool ideas for future designs and cruise ships. So comment below, let us know what you think about our list of the top 10 things that we'd like to see on cruise ships, and comment below on some things that you would like to see on cruise ships, features or different venues or whatever on board the cruise ships. And if we get enough of them, we'll do a subscriber edition of things that we wish were on cruise ships. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. All right, number one, I think this one is very doable. For us Gen Xers, I really wish they would open up the clubs a little bit earlier. We like, hey, listen, we like to go to the club. We like to hear the music. We like to hang out a little bit. And when you don't open up a club to like 11:30 at night or something like that, I listen, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I could go to, I worked midnight, so I can go 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't do it anymore, guys. So, staying up to 11:30 sometimes is kind of a struggle. And I know I'm not the only one out there that's like that. I really wish that they would have the club open earlier in the evening so that when you get through with dinner, you can just go to the club and enjoy some music, whatever. And, just enjoy the club atmosphere instead of having to wait all the way to the end of the night. So that's our number one. Next up, now they do this sometimes, but they don't do it very often. We wish that they would overnight in ports a little bit more often. So like really cool ports, like maybe like a St. Thomas or a St. Martin, or different places around the world. We just wish that they would overnight in the ports a little bit more often so that maybe you can get some of the nightlife that these places have to offer. Now, some of the islands do shut down kind of early and everything like that, but I'm quite sure if they had ships overnight porting there, they would probably do something to maybe attract the crowd there. But people may even want to go and check out a resort that's on a particular location. So if they're overnight in the port, they can go check out the resort, hang out there, and then come on back to the ship. So it's just fun when you overnight at a port because you can stay out there a little bit later at night. So something to consider, cruise lines. Let's overnight these ports a little bit more, or at least make the stays a little bit longer. Next up, and I think this one we will probably see sooner than later. I think this is probably going to be reality for one, but including the gratuity into the cruise fare. So let's just be done with it. There's so much back and forth on this gratuity thing. Some cruise lines have it built in. Some cruise lines pay their crew whether or not you do the gratuity or not. And it's just so much back and forth. There's so much fine print and so much rigmarole around the gratuity for the staff. At this point, I just wish they would all just include them all into the cruise fare and be done with it. And then, if you feel like tipping a little bit extra or whatever for your room stewards and your dining people, whoever gives you great service, your bartenders, then you can go ahead and do that. But I just rather have it put into the cruise fare and let's be done with it. All right, so now we're going to get into this more a little bit on the wild side a little bit. Okay, so have you ever seen people that will have mega yachts, or people that will rent them out or whatever, and they'll be in the Caribbean somewhere, and they'll kind of anchor off ashore a little bit, and what they do is they drop a kind of a safety swim net behind this ship that in essence makes the ocean become a swimming pool. So it keeps the things with teeth out of the area where you're swimming in, and allows you to swim in the ocean. I would love to see that on a cruise ship, right? So just on a sea day, just dock out there, drop this big old net out there and just go for a good old swim out there. And I mean, I know the water is very, very deep, so obviously you have to have a lot of you have to know how to swim pretty good, but it's doable. You know, I think they could do it. Or even if you're off the shore, not too far from the port, where maybe the water's not so deep. But I think that'd be really cool. Off the back of the ship or the side of the ship, have a big net, a big open swimming area, and get out there and see what's in the ocean. So that's just one of my far-fetched ideas I'd like to see. Okay, so now I have heard of this done on other cruise lines, but I think this could be put into the mainstream cruise lines a little bit more. One thing that you can really take advantage of on a cruise ship is you don't have city lights around you. Now, there's a lot of lights on board the cruise ship and everything, but there's no city lights out there. So I would love to see stargazing and astronomy type excursions on board the ship while you're cruising. So they could have it up at the upper levels of the deck of the ship, and you know, cut off the lights in that area so that the sky becomes more vibrant, more visible to the naked eye. They could even put binoculars out there or telescopes, whatever the case may be. But I think it'd be really cool. I know Virgin has a form of this where you lay out on the back decks and you kind of do the stargazing. But I think it's a really cool idea. You go up on the top level of the ship, kill those lights up there, and just really learn about the nighttime sky. I think it would be so really cool. Probably one of the coolest things I ever seen on a cruise ship was a shooting star. And it happened so fast, I couldn't even get Mr. Traveler's attention. But it was just like fire coming behind that thing and shooting across the sky. So it's a really cool thing to see. I would love to be able to take advantage of that. All right, so another kind of far-fetched futuristic design that we'd like to see in the cruise ship is an underwater viewing area. So if they could have some kind of a room below sea level on the ship that had like a really thick glass, like aquarium type glass, where you could look down into and see what's going on below the ship. I think that'd be really cool to see the sea life and see what's going on down there. Or maybe even if they had it towards the back of the ship so you can kind of like see the propellers or whatever. I mean, you know, I know it's kind of far-fetched, but I think it'd be a really fun thing just to be able to see what's going on under that water level there for the ship. So cruise lines, make it happen. Okay, so this next one I'm getting ready to say is very controversial. And the only reason I put it on the list is because I have seen so many different posts on Facebook and TikTok and everything about this particular subject that adult cruisers are tired of, which is banning kids from the hot tubs. So I have seen so much traction on that kind of a story from different sources saying that a lot of people really wished kids wouldn't be in the hot tub. And I'm in that camp. When I was a kid, my parents wouldn't even let me go in the hot tub. They're like, that is for adults. Don't even think about it. They wouldn't even let me in there. Now you're on a cruise ship, you can't even get into it unless you're in the adults area because the kids are in there. And quite frankly, I mean, I joke about it, but every time the kids get in there, the hot tub turns to milk, right? It just gets so dirty from the kids being in there. But I'm team no kids in the hot tub. I agree with them. All right, so this next one does actually happen. MSC does this a lot in Europe, but I would love to be able to see if we'll be able to embark and debark at different parts of the cruise itinerary. So some of the MSC ships, you know, if they're doing a Mediterranean cruise, let's say they go to Barcelona and maybe go to Cannes, France, and then maybe go to La Spezia, and then go to Rome. Wherever there's a port at on that stop, you can either embark or debark at that port. So like when we're quoting prices for that, I can quote a price for that cruise line from any one of those ports and start the whole 7-day or whatever, how many day cruise it is for that person. So, you know, some people will get on in Barcelona and do a 7-day, get off in Barcelona. Some people will get on in Cannes and do a 7-day and get back off on Cannes. So I really like that concept, and it's something that I wish we could have here in the States, you know, for the islands and things like that. Because I think it'd be kind of cool, you know, if you could do like a Barbados. So fly to Barbados and spend, you know, a few days there, then get on in the middle of a cruise that's going around the Windward Islands. So just something to consider. I would love to see it. Number 9 on our list is something that is going to happen in the future. I don't know if we'll see it in the immediate future, but we're making strides towards that. And it is eventually getting to a totally clean energy source for cruise lines so that they're not polluting the environment and the ocean. I love cruising, but that's kind of like my biggest pet peeve with them is the pollution that happens with the cruise lines, especially like when we were on that Margaritaville. I mean, I was just cringing just looking at all that black smoke billowing out and into the water. You know, of course, we have a lot of the LNG cruises now, which are a much cleaner fuel. But I'm looking forward to the day when we can have a clean energy source for these cruise ships so we can stop polluting the environment. And our last one on the list, and I think this would be kind of cool. Let me know what you think. So you know how you go to Vegas? Like right now, the Backstreet Boys have a residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas. I think some of the cruise ships should have residencies on there. So maybe you had the Backstreet Boys on the Oasis of the Seas for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? That's their residency for that cruise ship. I think it would be so cool to have your favorite artists or entertainers do residencies on board some of these cruise ships. And I think it'd be a huge draw for the cruise line. So that's something to consider, cruise lines. And if you do, make sure you give your boy a little bit of credit for the idea. All right, everybody. So comment below what you think about our wish list for cruise ships, and comment down below on things that you would love to see for the future of cruise ships. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, life's short. Have fun. See the world. Bye, everybody.